Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming, particularly on a Saturday. It may be some people's work day, and hopefully you're having fun, but I know it's a bit of work too. My name is Tia Lendo. I work in the Google and Education team, and the next 15 minutes we're going to be talking about Google+, which is a platform for connecting and sharing. And I'm going to go through, tell you a little bit more about how it might be different from some other things that you're aware of, talk to you about a few of the features, and then tell you about how educators have been using Google+. And it is a platform that is absolutely free. You just need a Gmail account to get started. So as far as getting started, you can just Google Google+, and it'll bring you in here. If you've got Gmail, you're one step along. After you have Gmail, you need to make sure that you actually sign up and say, yes, I want Google+. And then from then on, whenever you're in your Gmail and your calendar, you probably are familiar with this black toolbar at the top. You'll see a +U, okay? And once you're all logged in, then you'll be able to get into Google+. So this is my Google+. As you can see, I can move back and forth between Gmail and calendar. This is my own personal account. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the features that are in here. So Google+ is built on the idea that we wanted to make sharing on the internet more like sharing in real life. Meaning that really there's some things you want to share with some people, other things you don't want to. You want to share different things at different times. And you also don't necessarily want to see everybody's information. So you also want to be able to see different groups. So we have a technology called Circles, and that's up here. What you do is you have all the people who you know, or people you've become acquainted to through Bet and through Twitter, etc. And then you create circles relevant to the groups. And you think about it just like your real life. So I've got family, not too many are on it right now. Got close friends, education in New York. This is a core group because I live in New York that I share with a lot, or just New York City generally. So my friends, and I might say, oh, there's an exhibition on, does anybody want to go? So I'm not bombarding everybody with that kind of information. So it's all about investing a little time up front to make these groups. There are, here's my Google Teacher Circle. These are some of the Google teachers I've had the pleasure to meet with. They're very active. But it doesn't just have to be people you know. I mean, you can also add in, of course, famous people. What's nice now is it's still quite early. This has only been out for a few months, this technology. And so the people who are on there are relatively open to connecting. So you can add them, they might add you back, and you can suddenly find yourself, as one of my friends did, in a hangout with Newt Gingrich the other day. I'll tell you a little bit more about Hangouts in a moment. But this is the core thing, the circle functionality. Once you have circles, you can connect and share based on them. So if I want to write something, I could decide to say, hello to everyone who is at Bet today in London. Okay, so I could do that, and I might just share it with my EdTech circle. So now only the people I've classified as EdTech could see that. Or I could decide to share it publicly. Okay, so maybe there is something I want to put out there, and I want the whole world to know. So for example, I might want to tell the whole world, meaning everybody in the world of Google+, about the Google Science Fair, and I could do public. The nice thing is, if I do put in a website, so let's say I wanted to share about the Google Science Fair, it'll take a little clip of the site. So I'm going to let people know about this. I'm going to paste it in, and it's going to give a little clip there so people can decide if they want to read more or not. So applications are open for Google Science Fair 2012. Now in this case, I'm actually going to put this to everybody who's out there online because I put public. Okay, so that now is publicly discoverable. So, as you can see, you can make posts here. This is called the stream. This is where I can make posts. I can also decide whose posts I want to see. So these are all my circles. Now I just want to see EdTech. So these are only going to be the people who I've put in my EdTech circle. Many of them are Google teachers. Many of them are education technology bloggers. So I can see what they're up to. The other nice thing is that I can search within the stream. Now this is a great one for teachers, I think, in terms of current events. So let's see, I want to search London Olympics 2012 because maybe every day in my class we're doing an Olympics-related starter. I used to be a teacher, so I was always looking for good starters to get the kids hooked in. Well, this is going to go through and it's going to search not just the internet. It'll search official news outlets, but it's also searching people who've made public posts. And this is neat because then I can find out just what is the most current and what people are talking about. And as you can see over here, whenever I do a search, it will show me the most popular words in Google+. There must be something going on with a cruise ship, I guess, because everybody's looking right now about that. Or Haley Barbour in the U.S., they're undergoing an investigation. So that'll show you some of those Google Analytics right in here. So great idea to get lesson starters. Great idea to find out what people are saying about you. Okay, so if I have a school, I could type in the name. So say, this is my alma mater, but you could type in the name of your school or your local area, and you can see what people are saying about you. It's kind of interesting. Hopefully it's positive feedback, but you'd also be able to see if there's negative feedback out there that you need to know about. Speaking of schools and organizations, you can create pages for them. Okay, so I'm going to show you just quickly how to do that. You can come down here. You can create a Google Plus page. I've done one. I've created a page here, not just for myself, but for the science fair. So this is my official page. It says I'm now operating under the science fair. And this is where I'm putting out information about the science fair. And what's lovely is people can make comments about it. We can engage in a dialogue. I can then respond to them on here. And also what's really cool for an organization is I can see which content I've shared is most popular. So this video had 78 people share it. That means I can go, since it's shared, and I can view who's shared it and where did it go out there. This is so cool for an organization or a program, because now I might go and write to these 5 people and say, wow, thanks so much for spreading the word about the science fair. And maybe there's a chance to even partner to talk more with them, the fact that they're enthusiastic. And I'll be able to compare this. These are called ripples. I can compare these with other posts. That can tell me what my community is most interested in. So I can start sharing things that are more of this type. Really interesting. And they've said there's more analytics coming over time. You can have up to 50 people who are running this account too. It's not all on my shoulders to look through all this stuff. So you can give it to a lot of people. Now I want to show you one of the technologies that is really kind of mind-blowing. And it's not just from what I think. It's definitely what we've heard from educators too. This is called the Hangout. So I can come down here and I can start a Hangout. This is a video conference where up to 10 people, or actually 10 computers, can talk for free. So I'm going to start one up now. You're not only able, I could do a Hangout here and just have some faces talking, but I'm actually going to do a Hangout with extras. That's down here, because that's going to let me also share a Google document, or it's also going to let me share my screen. So it's a great help tool. And this is all free once people are in. So let's see. I'm going to do a Hangout with Ross. I could decide to do a Hangout, by the way, with the public if I wanted to. That's what Newt Gingrich did that one day in that story. Sometimes it could be that a professor might just open up public office hours, or maybe just for their class. In this case, I'm just going to have a Hangout with Ross here. And we're going to get started. He's actually in the exhibit hall, so we'll see how it goes. He might need to mute. We might get some feedback. But you're going to get to see the way the display comes up. It's really smart technology. So it'll mute the other people who aren't speaking. And whoever's speaking, it'll make them big and the other people small. Now, we're in a version here where if I click, because it's the Hangout with extras, we can now share a document. It's going to open a Google document, and it's going to automatically save everything to whoever is in the Hangout, okay? That's why it's really important that you have to have the Gmail account as a foundation. When we hang up from the Hangout, that document will be in there. It's brilliant for taking meeting notes, okay? Taking minutes. It's brilliant for maybe looking at student work together. Maybe you did a lesson observation on a teacher, but you didn't get to have a debrief. Jump on here, you can look at the lesson plan, and you can talk about it live.
Normally in my school we have been
hey Ross, how are you?
Of laptops and everything. It's been always done.
Cool, I know we got a little feedback since you're so close, but maybe we can show how we can jointly edit, this document. So I think that is wonderful. but maybe we're jointly working on this, and maybe Ross has other things to say about it. So he can start editing the document. All he has to do is he needs to make sure he goes over to the left side and clicks on the notes. That will bring it up for him as well. And then he's able to edit, and we'll be able to see him writing into there as soon as that gets started. The other nice thing, he shared something with me. Let's look at that. So you can also share a pre-existing document. Oh, you haven't given me access, Ross. I can't share that one. But if you just click on the notes at the top, Ross, then we'll be able to just jointly edit that one. The other thing is there's chat. So I've been in some of these where you've got 10 people. We were talking with university students about how they were using this at school. And you have some people talking, some people editing the document, and some people in the chat box, who are having a separate thread over here. And what's really nice about this is I think a lot of students today are really used to multitasking and to having things going on at once. So, here you go. You can see that Ross is typing in here. Maybe we're editing the meeting minutes. Maybe somebody had a question, and so someone else is saying, well, to answer your question, and I'm just writing in the chat box over here. So it's a really nice tool. The other thing with Hangouts is right now we are testing with some users who got identified as kind of early adopters, Hangouts on Air. Hangouts on Air will let you record this session, play it back later. So instead of a podcast, you could do a Hangout cast with your face too. The other thing is it'll let you live stream the Hangout. So maybe it's just me and Ross and 8 other people, but then millions and millions could watch. This is brilliant for speakers. So some of the ways we've seen this in Ross is tired. Yeah. Thank you, Ross. We'll say goodbye. So one of the ways that a lot of people are using Hangouts in education, I'd say there's 2 big ones. One is office hours, or for the one-to-ones. It's brilliant for that. 2 is for getting speakers in. You could just, even though this is right now only for 18 and over, you could be able to use this to bring a speaker into your staff meeting or even into your classroom. They could just come in from wherever they are in the world. We had Vince Cerf, who's one of the fathers of the internet, in here 2 days ago from Mountain View. So we brought him in. We just turned the camera around so he could see the audience. And then people could just come up to ask questions. So it's just a really nice, and this is all free. In the US at the moment, you can also integrate with Google Voice to bring in people on the phone. I'm not sure if that's here yet, but at least for now, all you need is an internet connection and a forward-facing camera and a Gmail account, and you're ready to go. Obviously, the better the internet, the better it works, but it will even work if it's slow. It'll just be a little bit more grainy. So Hangouts are an absolutely wonderful way to be able to connect with people in a way that really wasn't possible before. And there are a lot of communities. I have a Hangout circle, and all they do, now I don't know all the people in it, but all they do is they just kind of like hang out with each other on random topics. So you'll always see them launching things like cooking lessons or, whatever it is, and they'll hang out based on certain interests. So I think we're also going to see a lot of people start to shift and start to be making content available through these Hangouts where you can have an actual intimate experience with the 10 people and other people can benefit from it as well. So I really encourage you to go on. All you have to do is go to google.com/plus, or you can access it when you're in your email. This will say plus you, Y-O-U. You can click there to get started. If you're looking for more ideas for how to use it for education, there is a Google Plus University community site that tells you a little bit about how some higher education institutions are using it. Again, since it's not available for under 18s, it's more been about higher ed and also peer-to-peer, adult-to-adult learning. But this will give you some examples of the types of things people are doing. A lot of, for example, reteaching sessions are being done on there, revision sessions, office hours. So you'll get a lot of ideas, I'd say, from Google+. So thank you very much. If you have any specific questions, please do come on up here. Let's see, I'll show you. There's a fair bit of things to follow. So obviously one of the problems is if not all of your friends are on there, well, how do you start getting going? Well, I'll tell you that there's many official pages which are really interesting, and certain communities like the EdTech community are really active. So you could just search up here, education, technology bloggers. So to get started, sign up and just see some of the things that you might find to follow. And I think over time we're going to see more and more people who are getting on. So thank you very much.